Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of hell. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
Today, everyone is a product and everyone needs marketing to succeed. So let's talk about it right now on Marketing Unfiltered with award-winning creative expert Wendi Cooper and her co-host John Hamilton.
Okay, so I'm sitting here tonight with the great Jarvis Essex, and he's looking at the board and he's going, "What the fuck is going on with that?"
No, I'm good. I
am so sorry, but it's so funny because every week when that jingle comes on,
right,
I go, "Turn it down." And I don't think anybody's been able to figure out how to turn that thing down.
Well, I had it down already a little bit. So
it's so loud,
yeah, it is
isn't
loud.
it?
It is.
It's the source material. I think the source material needs to be turned down, and then as it comes through the board or something,
it raises up.
It's hysterical. But because everybody, Jarvis, they do this. They go, "Whoa."
It catches them off guard.
It does, because it's kind of a corny tune anyway.
Okay.
All right. So it's nice and hot and warm in the studio tonight, I have to tell you. We've been, if you guys could see what happens here at C-Spot Talk before the scenes, as opposed to after the scenes, but the before the scenes of what happens to get like us in the seats and ready to go. It's hysterical.
Right.
But we've managed to do it maybe 6 minutes a little late, but I'm going to cut right to the chase. So welcome to C-Spot Talk. This is where we talk about marketing, and we do it in an unfiltered way. I'm your host, Wendi Cooper, and I am thrilled tonight to have in studio with me my co-host from my past shows with Going to Market with Wendi, C-Spot, the C-Spot, Going to Market with Wendi and Peter. Peter, I've had so many shows. But anyway, welcome. Peter Soby is in the house tonight, and I am introducing him right away because I want to talk to him desperately.
Thank you, Wendi. What a wonderful introduction.
Well, Peter, I could go on forever about you.
Well,
But
it's good to be back.
Yes, it's good to have you back.
Feels like no time has passed at all.
No, but it's a little chaotic, huh? It's a little crazy because when we did our show, we were doing it at 12. What did we do?
Yeah, like 12 noon or
At
so?
noon, right? Noon on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we would always be here at Sunset Gower Studios in the hubbub of the day and the food trucks and all the people and, the cool celebrities walking around, producers and stuff like that. So in the daytime, it's a little bit different around here than it is
Yeah,
at
it is
night.
a different vibe at night for sure.
Yeah, totally different vibe.
And you've got your martini glass there, so that's a total night vibe.
So Peter brought me my beautiful flowers. So today I was thinking flowers kept crossing my mind, and it was really odd because that's flowers. It was like, should I bring flowers? Should I bring flowers to Cassidy? Because I thought I was going to see my niece tonight, and it was her birthday. And I thought, and this is the reason I was thinking about flowers, is because you brought me flowers today.
Yeah, and it is.
Thank you.
It is Women's Day, and
it's International Women's Day.
yes, and you're one of the brightest and strongest and beautiful and talented
Thank
women
you,
I
Peter.
know.
Thank you, Peter.
I didn't realize that when I was coming on the show that it was Women's Day, but now it seems really apropos.
And it's also the something moon of Pisces, and I'm a Pisces. And the 12th of, what's today? Today's the 8th of March. Yeah. Watiki, Becky, Badicky, whatever his name was. He was on Misty and Drew's show last week.
What's his name?
Chris Wateki. The soul guy, the soul TV guy. He was talking about tonight, March 8th, was a very important night. Yes. Right? Yeah.
The solar eclipse?
Do you not listen to what is going on, Jarvis? I know
so many shows. I just,
I know you were in that show. Jarvis has never run the board in my show.
And now since I've got a new mic, we just...
Wait a second, we got to turn your mic up. Hold on. He didn't plug it in. John came in and switched Peter's mic, but he neglected to plug it in. This is live, ladies and gentlemen, from Hollywood.
It is, and
There
now
we
we've
go.
got some great sound.
Peter
But it's all fun.
Soby.
So an official to women around the world and to you, Wendy Cooper.
Thank you, Peter Soby.
And I
Here's
guess
to
I
you.
should
Thank you for
also-
bringing the wine.
I should also do a shout out to our friend Kathy because it's her birthday tonight.
Kathy.
So, happy birthday, Kathy.
Happy birthday,
You have to
Kathy.
go
Kathy
on.
Christopherson.
Kathy Christopherson, you have to go on my Facebook page for C-Spot Talks Facebook page, everybody, because I recently did this collage, and it's on the top. Well, actually, if you go on the Facebook page, you can see the full post of it, because the one that's on the top, you can only show some of the collage
Right.
I did of all of my past guests. And a lot of people didn't make it because I think I have to do like 3 of those. But I swear to Kathy was on my show, and I kissed her. Like Tony was taking pictures, and I kissed her on the lips, right? And she said, "Don't you ever show that to anybody?" And I never showed it to anybody. So in the collage, I put it really down in the corner, and I kind of covered up Kathy, so you couldn't really tell it was her. What does she do on Facebook? She says, "I see that picture of us making out in the corner." So she announced it, so now it's okay.
Yeah,
to
that's
know.
right. Because otherwise, no one might have noticed. And I was very. If you're
I was
my
very
friend,
discreet about it.
If you're my friend watching the show, it's on my Facebook page as well, and I show up like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
I was
you
like,
do.
whoa,
Yeah, you do.
what an honor.
Yeah, I have so many. It was so funny. And Paul Greenberg, shout out to Paul Greenberg, because he didn't show up at all. And actually, intentionally, because I thought, of all people, I'm going to leave Paul Greenberg out. He's like my three-peat, right? He's the guy that's
Right.
been on the show 3 times. And he's this really awesome infomercial producer. And I love Paul to death. And I thought, I knew he would be looking for himself first thing. Where am I in that photo? Right? So I left him out. And so now he was the first one to say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm not in the photo."
Now I've got a new mic, a new camera angle. Jarvis
Yeah.
is hooking me up
Jarvis, do you have it under control?
Yeah.
Am I a little dark? Do I look all right? I want people to tweet. Does she look okay? Hashtag, is she looking good tonight?
here. Hashtag Wendy looks great.
I have this thing where, okay, so Peter, let me update you on things. I don't know if you've been watching the show. So I went on the advice of Misty Cooper and Drew, who have the show at 6 o'clock, Spiritual Ecstasy. They advised me to go and have my hair cut by this guy, and I cannot tell you who it is because it would be unfair.
boy.
So it was probably the worst experience I've ever had. My beautiful long hair is now really like this short, and I can't do a damn thing with it, right? So I'm taking vitamins, actually. I didn't bring them in. I brought the box to pitch on TV on the show because I'm taking special vitamins to make my hair grow faster because it's so miserable.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, so it's 5,000 cc or UUs or whatever of biotin in this one vitamin. And that's what's kind of makes your hair grow is biotin. But your hair is a protein. So it got rave reviews on Amazon, so I purchased it.
Hey.
Just kind of like a toilet stool.
Yeah, interesting. What
Yeah.
toilet stool would that be?
Oh my goodness. So anyway, we have a joke here at C-Spot Talk, Peter. I have to fill you in.
Please.
Okay. The joke is it's always about me. No matter who's on the show, it always ends up being about me. No, it's okay. So I'm learning how to not make it Wendy centric and make it more about my guests. So I want to hear all about what have you been doing? We'll talk about the mouth painting thing later after the break.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your awesomeness as a director and a producer.
Wow, interesting, Wendy. That's a big topic. But, it makes me think there's a story that I want to share with you. How about that?
That's awesome.
So, as a person in a wheelchair, a disabled individual, and, a lot of friends know that I was injured when I was 19 years old.
Right.
It was between my freshman and sophomore year in college, and I broke my spinal cord diving into a shallow lake. But, in my high school and my community college at the time, I was a man of campus and had lots of friends.
You were? I can
and-
wait, hold on. I can vouch to this because I have met your people who were in school with you, women. And all I can hear about is, oh my God, that Peter Soby. So anyway, go on.
Yeah. So, I loved a lot of people. A lot of people loved me. And, and then once you become disabled, you kind of become an inspirational figure, if you will.
Yes.
And I've never had a problem embracing that. I think it's important to try to inspire people, through your own obstacles and stuff, and you know something about that as well. And so anyway, but here's the story. It was about a year and a half after I was injured, so I was still, pretty fresh and everything, but I was out of the hospital and rehabs. And the National Honor Society of my high school invited me to be the keynote speaker at the big, year-end National Honor Society event and stuff. And I was very flattered and honored, and I agreed to do it. And I'm sure that, they were looking for that inspirational story in the speech to motivate the students, and that's what I planned on delivering. And I think you probably know that I've got this affinity for donuts.
A little bit.
And it's like it's one of these things. It's not eating donuts. There's just something about the essence of donuts.
Yes,
ever
you
since
love
I was,
donuts.
Since I was very young.
Seriously love donuts.
Yeah,
yes.
so like they've always, since I was probably 13 or 14, I've just had this thing about donuts, and have incorporated them in so many aspects of my life. And my senior year of high school, I did like a big, huge term paper on the history of donuts, and so I knew a lot about donuts. So it's the night of the big National Honor Society
Have you been
event.
to the store on Abbot Kinney, that donut store on Abbot Kinney?
I haven't yet, no.
You have to come down there, Peter. Come down and I'll take you.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a donut. I forget what it's called, but I went in it and I just went, what the fuck is this place? And it was like a super donut store.
Yeah.
Like a donut is like $9.99 or something like that.
Right.
But they're special donuts.
And I do still have
Yeah.
my dreams about opening up
Yes.
a donut shop
Yeah.
someday, and
Yeah.
and maybe I will. So anyway, as I was going into that night in the speech, I'm not quite sure what overcame me, but I've also got a pretty absurd sense of humor. And I thought it would be really funny and hilarious if I gave a speech about donuts. So I basically spent 20 minutes talking about donuts and the history of donuts. And
And that was it?
well, at the end, I did tie in, like,
You circled
everything I
back.
said about donuts and how I used it to inspire them and to, like, show them how donuts you can relate that to your lives and inspire you to go on and do great things in the world. But I didn't talk about myself or my injury or inspirational stories whatsoever.
You didn't make it about your the
Right.
the
And I
sob
think,
story.
and they weren't very happy about it.
Oh, really?
The crowd received it well.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
kind of like maybe a joke that went on a little too long, but I thought it was hilarious. And some other, people that know me well.
I've known you a while, Peter, and you've never told me that story about the donuts.
Yeah, so I figured it'd be a good story to tell. So there was a part of me coming in tonight that was like, what if, like, everything Wendy asked me about, I just kept
Answered it
circling
with a
back to
donut.
donuts?
Watch, we still have The Night is Young. The night is young, but the donut joke is old. No.
So as much as I'd like to talk about, producing and writing and directing, it's like it
I'm
reminds
gonna
me of
talk about donuts.
it reminds me of a story about donuts,
Chocolate
Wendy.
donut I once knew. There's this. I could do this all night with you. There's this donut shop in El Segundo that I really love, and I've brought you donuts from there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
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 And it's this two. They're either Filipino or Korean, or I don't know what they are, but they're a husband and wife team, and they've had this donut shop in this little strip mall, right, kind of by Rock and Brew in El Segundo, which is becoming like this really cool kind of like hipster corner. But yes, there is. I think it's called the Donut Shop. Swear to God. But the
Original.
donuts are amazing, and they get up every night and they go to work at 2:00 in the morning, and they start to do the rising of the dough for their croissants, and their donuts are just delicious, right?
Yeah.
And it's a cash business. They don't take any credit cards or anything, and all the locals go there and they just sell donuts until about 11:30, and then that's it. And then they take all their leftover donuts and they take them to another location that I guess that they sell from there. But El Segundo is located quite close to LAX. So there's a lot of 24-hour stuff. So there's another donut store in El Segundo that is closer to the airport side. And that thing just like turns the donuts. I mean, what do you think it costs, to make a donut? 5 cents?
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah? Right.
I mean, some of like the place in Abbot Kinney, I'm sure they use like artisan ingredients, and maybe it's more like $2 to make a donut or something.
It's ridiculous, that place. My girlfriend took me in there. I said, "What is this? I wish I knew what it was." Jarvis, can you go online? Can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Can you go online and look for Donut Shop on Abbot Kinney?
Okay.
All right. And see if we can find it. I went in there. My girlfriend Janine brought me there. She goes, "Oh, you got to have one of these donuts." She's like one of these people that says, "I'm so fat, but I'm going to order the French toast with scrambled eggs, egg whites." Right. But she brings me into the donut store, and Peter, it's like the line was out the door.
Wow.
And one donut cost, I swear, at least like $5-6 for a donut.
Blue Star?
Blue
Donuts?
Star Donuts.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's this whole weird history to Blue Star Donuts. So, is there another picture? No, not really, huh? Yeah.
And I know there's also Fonuts on Melrose, I think, in Hollywood. That's
Probably tofu donuts.
Well, yeah, it's like
That
it's all
sucks.
like
Fonuts.
it's all like gluten-free and fat-free donuts and stuff, but it's supposed to be great. And she's a really famous pastry chef that runs it.
Aren't you losing the whole idea of a donut once you start to make it gluten-free and fat-free and
I
freaking
guess
sugar-free and everything else free?
But if it's a great tasting donut though, and it's not bad for you, that's pretty cool.
And
I
then
think.
there's the cronut.
Right, the
right?
cronut.
That's like a combination of a croissant and a donut.
Which I'm not a huge fan of. To me, it's like so thick and heavy, and
Is it? I won't eat it.
the couple
I
I've had, I just haven't been that turned on by them at all.
What's your favorite donut, though, Peter? I've never asked you that.
I think a Boston cream's my favorite donut.
Ooh,
Just a basic
Boston cream pie is so
Yeah.
good. But they don't make them on the West Coast like they do on the East Coast.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's completely different custard.
Yeah, and in fact, the West Coast, LA just doesn't. Now there's a few great little donut shops, and Dunkin' Donuts is coming back, but up until
Dunkin'
now,
Donuts
there just
sucks.
haven't been great donuts. I like Dunkin' Donuts. I grew up on Dunkin' Donuts.
I like the donut shop in
How about
El Segundo.
Krispy Kreme?
No, I loved Krispy Kreme. They just
They
grew
were
so
good,
fast,
but
and then
grew
they
so
shut down,
fast.
and
Yeah.
that was crazy. But I do love. I think their donuts are great.
Yeah.
You know what I really like is I like myself a nice, fresh Hostess Snowball.
Wow, I haven't had one of those since I was like
Kid.
13 or something.
I love, of the old school Hostess was awesome before they remember they went bankrupt and Hostess kind of went away for a little while and then they revived it again. You guys don't know that about the Hostess
No, I
Ding
didn't know
Dong
that.
and all of that stuff, right? So since we're in a marketing show, we'll talk a little bit about brands and marketing. Yes, that happened a couple of years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Hostess announced that they were no longer going to make Ding Dongs, Snowballs. Hostess was basically going to go away. Okay, so everything we know Hostess to be. As that,
And when
the
was
junk
this?
food. The junk food.
Just a few years ago,
This was probably about 5 years ago.
I remember Twinkies going away. and there was
Twinkies,
a big,
Twinkie Hostess.
Okay.
Hostess. Right. So that was all the Hostess and the downline of Hostess. And on the Twinkies was part of it. Twinkies, yo-yos, ho-hos, or whatever, snowballs, and the lot. Right? Okay. So what happened was there was such a backlash that Twinkies went away that another company, I believe, came in and bought it, but yet it's still Hostess, but it's another company came in. And I really don't think the Hostess quality, if you can call it Twinkie quality food, but there is something to be said about a fresh Hostess pink or white snowball. For me, it's like the epitome of delicious. It's all it is chocolate cake, cream filling, and marshmallow on the outside with
That's
coconut.
right, yeah.
Right? And when they're fresh, they are fresh like from the oven. When they get old after a week or so on the shelf, who cares? But for me, that is like that if if I had to have things on a desert island, what would I
Everybody
have?
else is? Okay.
it would be snowballs.
What would it be for you, Peter? I bet you it would be a donut of some kind.
Maybe, but I guess, that's a tough question, though, if I had to have desert island food.
If you could have anything you wanted on a desert island to eat on a continuous basis. Unlimited supply.
Keep in mind, I love the essence of donuts, but I don't think I would want to eat donuts every day.
Well, when you could mix it with some guava leaves or something like that, or chew some alfalfa grass.
I think I would bring tomato soup.
Really? You like tomato soup that
I
much?
just love tomato soup.
Here's the things that a woman would bring. And I think about this often, actually. If I was ever asked that, okay, Wendy, you can bring 3 things with you where you're going, 3 things. And I want you, both you and Jarvis, to answer what those 3 things will be after I answer it. 3 things with you, and you're going to a faraway land, right? You're going to the Amazon. You're going to be there for a month and a half. And there's 3 things that you really can bring with you. Small, in your backpack. Me, as a woman, I would bring one of those facial hair buzzers. Bzzz, one of those. Because you can do your nose and your face. You don't need a tweezers. Now, you can have 3 things, okay? Right? So that would take care of the facial hair problem and probably the other growth, too, because I can't bring a razor. Okay? So I have to bring one thing, and I don't want a razor for my face. That would be one. The other thing would be moisturizer, body moisturizer. I don't really give a crap, but a moisturizer and lip balm. No lip balm. The third thing would be a toothbrush that had built-in dental floss. Because I would have to have that 4th thing. Seriously,
That's
think about
interesting.
that.
But would you be alone on the island or with people on the island?
Oh, God, now you have to complicate it, right? No, the mandate is you can't share.
Okay.
Okay, so
But that being said, too, then your first item would necessitate a 4th item. You'd need batteries. What are you going to do when that thing runs out of batteries?
I will sparingly use it. I'm only going to be there a month. My hair doesn't grow that fast.
And instead of moisturizer, wouldn't you rather have sunscreen or?
I would have sunscreen. I would have moisturizer with built-in sunscreen, Peter.
Okay.
Don't be so stupid. But thank you for pointing that out. Yeah.
And so you wouldn't need anything for survival as far as like a
This is a funny
machete
show.
or a knife? Or...
No. Now, I would assume the organization that I was going there with that told me I can bring 3 things to this island would already have the machete and the repellent and the mosquito nets and all of that stuff. These are 3 personal things that I could bring to an island that I'm probably, going to go cohabitate on and care about the way I look. Oh, my God. And then there's no blow dryer. Oh, my God. That's terrible. I couldn't go. I would not go. No, I wouldn't go. There's one time I went to Brazil and I went to, and I stayed at this place in Campinas, and it was this awesome place, but they didn't have any mirrors and no blow dryers.
That'd be interesting. Never getting to look at your image again. Like maybe you'd catch it in water or something, but to never look in a mirror again, that'd be kind of wild.
And not to have a blow dryer to see how horrible you really. I mean, at least with a blow dryer, you could assume you looked okay. Without the blow dryer, you already know. I have no idea what I look like because I never not blow my hair dry, right? So I had no blow dryer and no mirror. And I was there with like the Andrew Mark model, Mary Matthews, who was like gorgeous. No matter what she did, she was gorgeous. The reason there was no mirrors or blow dryers, she didn't need them, But I did. Yeah, it was really.
And you guys were on an island together?
We were in Campinas in Brazil. It was when I was. We had a diet product and we were marketing it in Brazil, and then my partner was a Brazilian company, so it was kind of funny. Yeah, so I was just visiting them.
Were there any donuts in Brazil?
No, lots of meat. Lots of meat.
I just wanted to bring it back around to donuts.
I know you did. I didn't have any donuts, Peter.
Okay.
So what if you directed... Oh, wait. We're going to go to a break. We're going to run Direct
Wow,
Avenue.
Break already?
Yeah. Direct Avenue is our sponsor. Well, we have a 2-minute read. And then an EasyGo Pro commercial. And then we'll be back after that with Peter Soby. And we're just talking donuts tonight, people.
Sounds
So
good.
we'll be right back. If you need direct response television media planning and buying, then Direct Avenue is your best bet. Besides being a media specialty, direct response television advertising is the smartest form of advertising today. Direct Avenue is a short-form media agency where direct response meets branded television advertising. It takes master planning, negotiating, buying, tracking, and reporting to run an effective advertising campaign in order to have sustainable growth. I've been nothing but impressed with everyone at Direct Avenue. Avenue. As a CMO consultant, I need to feel connected to the entire supply chain of a campaign, and I trust that Direct Avenue is doing the best job possible. Direct Avenue understands the urgency in planning, negotiating rates, flexibility, and agility in leveraging relationships that allow for a smart and efficient media test. The leadership at Direct Avenue know their sweet spot, and they stick to it. These days, media planning and buying supported with the best systems to track transactions from phone, mobile, web, social, and search back to your media dollars is what it's all about if you want to grow your campaign and deliver a robust ROI. Direct Avenue has been around for a long time and delivering great services for many years. In fact, here's the number of Scott Kowalczyk, the CEO. 760-579-4210. That is his direct number. Again, it's 760-579-4210. Or you can go to directavenue.com, check them out, and get a free analysis for your campaign. When was the last time a CEO gave out his direct number on radio? Well, that just goes to show you what Scott's all about. So call Scott at 760-579-4210.
In an average lifetime, 1,500,000 minutes are spent on the toilet. So what's the problem?
When you sit on a toilet, you're at a 90-degree angle.
Nature didn't want us to do it that way.
This causes pushing, straining, hemorrhoids.
That's crazy.
We want to create a product that is great for humanity.
Well, go time just got easier. Introducing Easy Go Pro, the only way to go.
Anatomically, we were designed to eliminate at a 35-degree angle.
You just sit, lift, and go in a natural position.
The benefits list is this long from a pure health perspective.
A healthy colon is encouraged by doctors for all ages.
The key to vitality, it's the key to longevity, it's the key to your health.
Be a healthy goer. Order now at EasyGoPro.com. Try it for 70 days. If you don't absolutely feel better, just send it back for a full product refund. Go time just got healthier at EasyGoPro.com.
Hey, we are back. Hey, by the way, everybody that just listened to that commercial about Easy Go Pro is actually a toilet stool, because if you didn't see it, if you watch on YouTube, you'll be able to actually see the commercial, or you're watching live. But if you are one of our amazing downloading fans that just listens to the podcast, then Easy Go Pro is a toilet stool. And by the way, it's available on Amazon, Home Depot, and on Walmart.com. We actually just launched in Japan and Germany, and we tested the commercial in Greece, and it's like people in Greece are like crazy about this thing.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so that's awesome. It takes a while, but we're feeling the wind of Squatty Potty, and we actually really like that wind because they pay for it and we benefit from it. Thank you very much, Squatty Potty, because without them, I wouldn't be me. If you're watching this show, you could see me doing my Italian sign. So anyway, I can say that because, there was an episode that aired recently of Beyond the Shark Tank. I'm going to say this, Beyond the Shark Tank. And everybody knows that C-Spot Run was the infomercial company, or the company that worked with Squatty Potty back in the day. And in this Beyond the Shark Tank episode, they made a point of making a segment out of how Bobby Edwards and Judy Edwards, this make-believe family business, because it's not a family business, right? It's owned by very large investors. Got completely screwed and pushed down this path of, terrible trouble. If they had gone down this path, they would have fallen off the edge, when the reality really was a little bit the opposite.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah. So we quickly sent a letter out to them. My attorney did, and so we're going to let it be for right now. But they obviously are little to develop an entire segment on
No
Beyond
doubt.
the Shark Tank about how they felt as though they went down because Lori wanted to do a direct response television commercial. And they said, well, actually, Lori, we went down that path. Peter, you worked on that project with me, with the Edwards. You know what it was like to work with
absolutely.
them. They were completely happy doing what we were doing,
Yeah.
right? And the commercial went on television, and it was a wonderful success.
Right.
And if it wasn't for my creativity and how I approached it with the jumping people and the T-shirts and everything else, you know, it was just so ironic to be watching Beyond the Shark Tank and watch this whole segment with I laughed. I laid in bed that night and I said to my husband, I said, Marino, I finally made it on Shark Tank. It was like they were talking about C-Spot Run. They weren't talking about Easy Go Pro.
Right.
Because they said, they copied us 6 months later and all of this stuff. And it's like so blown out of proportion. It's absolutely ridiculous. But we voiced our opinion. We said they answered with a cryptic, stupid letter. And I told my attorney that, you know, we'll let it go this time. We'll let it go this time. But, you know, they're not talking about Easy Go Pro. They were talking about C-Spot Run. And my reputation as a consultant and infomercial producer, you know, somebody of a little bit of a, you know, people know in the industry. Yeah. Amazing.
Why can't they just move forward with their success? Why do they got to drudge stuff like that up?
Well, and then they put on Amazon, don't be fooled by the competition. Don't be fooled. One of their bullet points was, don't be fooled by imitation. Squatty Potty is the original toilet stool. There is no original toilet stool. It's a stool. It's no one has a patent on a stool, right? They're the original. And I was the one, by the way, when I consulted with them, I said, put original on your name. But they're the original Squatty Potty. I'm the original Easy Go Pro.
Right.
But I'm not the original toilet stool, don't be fooled by cheap imitations. Cheap imitation. Anyway, Amazon took them off. Amazon took it off. Amazon's awesome like that.
Wow.
You tell Amazon something and they look into it and they go, you are right. That is not fair. We're going to take that down.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really interesting. I didn't know that about Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah, Amazon's really awesome. So anyway, enough about that. Peter, I want to hear about what you're doing. Come on, tell everybody.
Yes, okay. Well, I will get into it a little bit. You know,
No donuts.
my background is, you know, I started in development and I started independent producing. And so I've been producing for years and I've written scripts and I've directed short films and such. And so recently I produced a short film that we're editing right now called Locked In. And then coming up the first weekend of April, I'm going to direct a short film that I co-wrote. And, you know, I'll produce it too, just because it's just easy for me to do. And then the third week of April, I'm going to be producing a music video. If you remember an artist named Paula Cole, who 20 years ago won the Grammy for Best New Artist, and her big hit was "Where Have All the Cowboys Gone?" So, anyways, she's re-recorded a 20th anniversary version of the song.
20 years ago, I was 40. I was 40.
Yeah.
Where have all the cowboys gone?
Yeah, it was a pretty big hit.
Jarvis is looking it up.
And she's re-recorded it, and we're going to do a music video for it. And
Oh, wow.
so I'm producing it, and then this woman named Laura Harden is directing it. And a lot of people know her. Have you ever seen the American version of The Office?
Yes, of course.
Like, she played Jan,
Oh,
Steve
right,
Carell's like
right,
boss and lover.
Right.
Yeah,
Of course.
And so
That's her?
she directs now as well, and she's done a couple of movies, and so she's directing the music video because Paula's a friend of hers, and I'm producing it.
I think it's really, I would love to one day do a music video. I find myself getting anyway, Wendy, put the brakes on, bring it back to Peter.
No, that's okay. You
Go
would
ahead.
like to direct one or produce one?
I would, producing and directing to me is the same thing because if I produce, I'm directing.
Okay.
You know, if I'm producing, I'm writing. So I write, produce, and direct. Right? I just do it.
Maybe you
all.
should try it sometime.
And to do to be able to tell the story through the visual, take the song and tell the story through the visual would be really awesome because I sometimes find myself that I have to tell a story. I'm handed footage, and then I have to go through that footage, and I have to figure out how to tell the story with the footage that I have and how to tell that story. Right?
Yeah.
So you work backwards. And so it would be really beautiful to have a song that then I would be able to put a visual to, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I like love music, and
Yeah.
because I love filmmaking too, that's why I got into doing music videos because it's the best of music and filmmaking combined.
When you do music videos, because I've never done one, and I would be curious as to the production process. So, are they're performing? Can you walk me through a music video for a song?
Yeah, totally. I mean, first of all, as far as producing it, it would be in a walk in the park for you because it's basically just like doing an infomercial. You get your basically
producing for those that are listening. That when Peter and I refer to producing, that's really producing is when we say, well, we're the person that goes out and gets the crew and gets the stage and gets all the shit.
Right.
All right, so producing, yeah, I got it. That's the same
Right.
for everything.
So let's say, a music video usually starts with, on one end, there's like, let's say a record label and they have an artist that they're going to do a music video for. So they send out a brief, which is, we've got this artist and they've got a new song. Here it is. And we've got $15,000 for the music video. And so now all you directors out there, give us treatments of what your take on this music video would be. And a treatment is usually you combine written words with actual, like, support it with visual images. Just, you can get them off Google, whatever. And, on the other end of things, if it's just an independent artist that, like, let's say you want to do one for Ariana Grande or no, I'm thinking of Savalas. And she would say, hey, Wendy, I've got this song. Let's make a music video. So you'd come up with a concept and, write out.
Like a storyboard or something like that.
Storyboard it, write out a treatment. And then, figure out your locations based on your treatment and set up the shoot. And then so when you're actually filming, though, you just basically have playback. So you'll just have like a good loud boombox or something like that.
You do have a playback that's always kind of running. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and then the artist will just, lip sync, or a lot of times they'll actually
do you do a lot of
loud.
scenes over and over again? So do you tranche it out? So do you take sections of the song and say, okay, this is kind of the visual that I'm going after for this part of the song, right?
Absolutely,
and then
yes.
there's a chorus for the song, and that maybe would be a dance number or something like that.
And it's really important for the director to really have the vision of the music video in their head and the treatment, because there's a lot of times, like, a rule of thumb for music video is halfway through or 2/3 of the way through, you introduce a whole new performance element to the music video. And so you don't want to spend a lot of time doing performance footage all the way through the whole song at different places. So let's say at the halfway point of the song you're going to introduce performance footage at a swimming pool. And in your mind you're never going to show that footage in the first half of the song. So don't waste time, recording 2 minutes of video footage.
Right. Right.
In the beginning of the song.
Select the section of the song that you're going to be using that kind of visual.
Because, music videos are notoriously going over time. And, I mean, a lot of the big budget ones I did, we would be 18-hour days. It would be crazy.
God.
It was crazy.
I pride myself in never going to overtime.
Yeah, it's all, as a producer,
That's
I would like to pride myself in it, but when you get to being
it's up to the director.
Well, that's the thing.
Not
When
the producer.
when you start working with directors and these big artists, and they got to get this stuff, and
that's why you want to be the
time
producer
is
and the
ticking
director.
down. it gets crazy. And I mean, as a producer, you got to go around and keep your crew happy and keep everyone happy, and because you're trying to appease to the director and to the artist.
I've always been, in everything that I've ever done in my career, the producer, the writer, the director. I've always been pretty much, as you know, the art director, the wardrobe person.
Right. And that's
the casting person,
Yeah.
wearing all of those hats, because for some reason, if I have this incredible vision in my head of what I want to create, that most of the time when I leave it up to other than my DP or my editor or whatever, it doesn't translate into the visual that I want. I've tried. But I don't even know the difference, because I'm just from that world of, we wear so many different hats because we don't work on these big, gigantic budgets.
Totally. Yeah, as a producer, you're wearing the hats of 20 crew members,
Yeah, it was funny because the one production that you worked with me on, the Squatty Potty production, I learned something very valuable. And that was that I never, this is funny, because I've been producing commercials since 1997, okay? So I never you and who was the gal that you brought in, the Hispanic gal?
Carla.
Yeah. You guys gave all of the crew these forms to fill out that I never even knew I was supposed to give to the crew. Right? And I thought, oh my God, that's awesome. I learned something. But this is after many years of producing many, and even sometimes union stuff. Union stuff was a different thing. But you use these certain forms that I thought that, and the state of California says you're supposed to use these forms.
Right.
But, I'm an entrepreneur. I've had my little agency, blah, blah, blah. I never followed it. But that was something that I learned from you guys, and I don't think I ever told you that.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you learned something.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm up to, and I'm also working on a feature screenplay that I'm writing that came to me in a dream.
What?
And it's about a female president, so on Female Day, that's kind of apropos.
Really?
Yeah. And then of course, I know we're probably
We have plenty of time.
But
We have 10 minutes.
the new thing I should mention is that as
Mouth
of
painter.
last week, I'm now a student member of the MFPA, which is the Mouth and Foot Painting Associate or Mouth and Foot Painting Artists. This whole time I got it wrong, actually. When I first made my posting, I said,
Mouth.
hey, I'm a member of the Mouth and Feet Painters Association. And they're like, it's like, wouldn't you think I would know? Like, it took me like 8 months to get into the group.
It's a little difficult, but Peter, they were on my show with Miriam, right? And she was
Right.
on the show, and actually a couple of times I couldn't get that right.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it right. Jarvis, what pictures do we have? Peter, what did you put in Dropbox for everybody? Anybody watching, we're going to show. Do you have some of your paintings?
Yeah, there's
in
some
there?
of my paintings. These are basically the paintings I created for my application to get in, and they're based on. I didn't know what to paint, but I know that I love my cat Muffin, and I saw a close-up picture of her. And the first painting
So
I
walk
did
us
was
through. How do you do it? Do you paint with your mouth, right?
Yeah, I just hold the paintbrush in my teeth and paint on the canvas. But it starts with, I use like a drawing program on my iPad, and I hold the stylus in my teeth, and I draw out my concept on the iPad, and then I color it in, so I kind of get an idea of my colors, and then I print that out and trace it onto the canvas, and then I, use the paintbrush in my teeth to paint on the canvas.
So this enables you, once you're certified as a mouth artist, painter, feet procrastinator. Peter, what is it called? Mouth. You're certified.
Mouth and foot painting artist.
And foot painting artist, right?
Right.
Then you get to submit your artwork, right? You get to submit your artwork to them, and then they sell it.
Yeah, and
Isn't that what happens?
Yeah, so basically you create art, and they're a publishing company basically.
Yeah.
And their big business is Christmas cards and calendars, but they also do like prints and posters and all that sort of thing.
So this is an awesome thing for you.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's basically like, I'm as a student member of the organization, like I'm a paid artist.
You're a paid artist. Right, exactly.
And how many painters out there? There's thousands that wish they could get paid for their paintings.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Here I get paid, even before laying brush to the canvas.
So it's very meaningful to be certified as a
mouth painter.
As a mouth painter. Actually, when I was on Facebook tonight and I was posting the last thing before I came here, I put at, and then you know how things pop up where I put mouth painter or whatever, and there's lots of there's a lot of mouth painters.
Yeah, I mean, just in the MFPA alone, they have 800 members.
Yeah,
so that is a lot, and so actually, the competition to actually get them to license one of your images is really high because they have 800 members, and let's say those 800 members do 10 paintings a year. That's 8,000 paintings, and I think they maybe publish 200 paintings a year at the most.
Can we go through some of the photos? Do you have any? Can you? You can't do it. They didn't put them in.
No.
But people can go on my Facebook page. They're right there on my Facebook at facebook.com/Peter Soby.
Yes.
And see my cat paintings.
Soby, S-O-B-Y.
Yeah. Oh yeah, S-O-B-Y.
The ones that you did of Donald Trump were awesome.
Oh yeah, and that was just something.
That's on
and that
my
was just
Facebook
like
page.
digital art, but the. I did have, I just got this thing in me that I'm not going to turn into a painting, but I I liked it just as digital art. It's like kind of inspired by Andy Warhol and Roy Lichtenstein.
Yes,
kind
it
of,
was awesome. It was awesome. Did you come up with? Did you put his face on the cover of the Jello box? And
Yeah.
you can see it at. I'm sure on your Facebook page, but you can see it at C-Spot Talk Marketing and Filters Facebook page. Also, we have it up there.
Yeah, and I've actually got a store on Society 6 too, where you can buy coffee mugs and prints of it and all that sort
Oh
of
my
stuff.
God! Really?
Yeah, totally.
It's so cool. The one of Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, there it is.
I can't see from here, but Peter, can you see? What's
Yes.
up there?
Okay. So now we
Okay.
got up there. That is, you see, the first painting is the cat with the little mouse in the background. That one's
So
called
Picasso-esque.
painting bombing because the little mouse is photobombing the painting. And the next one is the cat character at a chicken art gallery. And then the third one's called barn sighting because the cat is sighting the barn and not the UFO.
Nobody can see from here. For me, they're looking at that, and I'm trying to see it across a room. I can't. I can only see a little tiny
Right.
barn.
But they get the
cat
essence of
is
it.
super Picasso-esque.
Yeah,
I like
mean,
that.
that's a great compliment. I love that. I've heard that a few times. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I'm very inspired by Picasso. I love it.
Yeah.
And that was like my first attempt at painting since, I did some stuff in an art class in high school, 30 years ago.
Well, and you're doing it with your mouth, honey.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's
And
Imagine if you had that pen that stylus in your mouth, and you had like a little mini donut on the end of it. You're
Right.
moving it around.
And actually, I did have some concepts for donuts, and a lot of people were surprised, like, when are the donut paintings coming? And the donut paintings will be coming at some point
You
in
need
time.
to do a donut painting, a donut of like one bite out of it, and then 2 bites out of it.
Yeah, that could be really interesting. I like that.
3 bites and then no bites and just crumbs on the paper.
I like that. I'm going to stick with the cat for a while because the first thing I did a bunch of paintings of Christmas paintings because they like to see what your take on Christmas would be since that's their big business. And so, as you can see now, here's one called
oh my God, it's so cute.
the
Peter,
cat
look at
is
that.
it's called Visions of Montana Rainbow Trout Were Dancing in Her Head, and Santa's left her a rainbow trout under the tree.
Jarvis, which one is the one that people are looking at if they're watching?
The one
Oh,
I just
okay.
said, yeah,
Okay.
the rainbow trout
Yeah.
one. And here's one. This one's called All the Stockings Were Hanging Their Kitty by the Chimney with Care, and she's hanging by the string. And
Oh, here's the Donald Trump one, the Jello boxes.
yeah, and then
Everybody loved the Jello box.
and then here's one with the cat eyeing Santa's milk and cookies. And basically the first thing I'm going to do with these cat paintings is they want me to kind of mock up a children's Christmas book with the
Oh, that's
cat
fun.
painting. So I'm going to
Does the
create
cat
like
have a name?
Well, my cat's name is Muffin, so I think I'll name this cat
Yeah.
Muffin. And so the first thing I'll do is kind of mock up a children's Christmas book and see if that interests them. And it'll have like maybe about 12 of the paintings, and I'll write a little story with it.
You'll be good at that, Peter. You'll be really great at that.
And then here is the Donald Trump Jello art that
Yeah.
I created.
And so, if for those of you listening and not looking or watching this live or on YouTube later on, this is 4 Jello boxes, and you have to see it. So you have to see what Peter did with this Donald Trump, and it's fat-free Jello, but the faces. So, Peter, what I can't see from here. You have to say, what are they?
Well, I basically used kind of the iconic Donald Trump images
Yeah.
with his screaming and yelling, and also like with that kind of that stupid look he makes with his mouth.
With his mouth, yeah.
But let's see.
Each box is different.
Yeah,
right?
and so there's like one is called Shotgun Apple, and it's apple flavored with a shotgun, and one is called Bible Cherry, and one is Immigration Lemon, and it's got a big wall with barbed wire on top of it, and then the last one is Constitution Orange. So I just kind of thought it'd be funny to use like those are his stumping points or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, stomping, whatever they're called.
Right.
We couldn't get into politics tonight, although I wish we could have, because
I
it's
know.
really interesting. But I'm just going to say that as a Democrat, I have no idea who to vote for, other than right now today. What's today's date? March 8th. If I had to cast my vote today, I would cast it for John Kasich.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even know he
as
was
a
still in the
Democrat.
race.
Yeah. Well, that's who I would vote for, even as a Democrat, because I got to tell you, I think that guy is he's the ticket. He's a ticket for our presidency.
Interesting.
And I'm not a Republican. I'm a Democrat. But I mean, there's just certain things. I saw 13 Hours, people. I saw it. I saw what happened in Benghazi. And I know lots of special ops people. And I cannot vote for Hillary because of the stupid Benghazi thing. I can't do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I would love to have a female president. I would love it, but I just don't.
It's not Hillary for me.
And I'm a Democrat too,
Yeah.
but I feel the burn. That's me.
Yeah.
But I should look more into Kasich.
Bernie or John Kasich.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Jarvis, it was awesome that you were here with us tonight.
Yes, it was great. I loved it.
And Peter,
Wendi.
you are reminded of how fast the evening goes, especially
I know.
when I start to chatter.
It just flies right by. But I talked a ton about myself, so that was awesome.
Oh, you never talk enough about yourself. You never do, and I don't see you often enough.
I know we haven't seen each other in quite a while.
So we need to make a point to do that. And you're welcome back anytime to co-host anytime when you want to come in and do that. That's awesome. You are here.
That would be amazing.
And we've gone a little bit over, but if for those of you, I have no idea what Jarvis is going to run at the end of the show because it's usually, I don't know what Tony ever runs at the end of the show. But I'm just going to let everybody know, thank you, Peter Soby, for being here tonight.
Thank you, Wendi.
You'll be able to see the entire interview on
Thank
YouTube.
you, crowd.
And it'll be on YouTube. You just kind of look for Wendi Cooper, and I have this YouTube channel now, and also on iTunes and on Spreaker and on Stitcher, but I'm mostly on iTunes. If you subscribe to iTunes, you'll just get a notice that the podcast is there. I always say I love listening to this show in an audio format more than I do looking at myself. So anyway, with that, I will say goodnight and thank you, peace and love, and that's it. Thank you for being here, and thanks to our sponsor, Direct Avenue, for always taking care of us. We'll see you next week. C-Spot Talk Marketing Unfiltered is made possible by our sponsors, Direct Avenue, the television media agency where you can expect more. Contact them at directavenue.com. Ending music is courtesy of Tom Orsi at Orsi Digital. You can download audio episodes of C-Spot Talk Marketing on iTunes, Spreaker, and Stitcher, or enjoy the full-length video uncut on YouTube. Just search for C-Spot Talk in your directory, and while you're there, make sure to subscribe. Special thanks to John Hamilton and Tony Sweet for making Tuesdays the best night of the week. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, just send me an email at wendy@cspotrun.com. Thanks for listening. See you next week.